Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss a watch that I once owned, the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Moon, part of a long lineage of calendar wristwatches dating back to at least the 1930s in the caliber 412. This watch was released in the late 90s and made through about 2005, and I believe this one right here might have been one of the last shipped, and I'll show you why. But first, the basics. Triple calendar moon face, stainless steel, 37mm case. That's the diameter. The watch has a 10.3mm thickness, and from lug tip to lug tip, 43.5mm with a 19mm spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. I always loved this black dial variant, which is more challenging to find than the silver one, but in my opinion also looks more potent, more punchy. It looks like it has more wrist presence than the identically sized silver dial model. It'll fit underneath any cuff, and you can see how short it is across the wrist. This down the barrel look, proving that the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, so you can wear this on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. My wrist is 16. The strap is high grade, large rectangular scale, symmetrical scale, and you can see these are really large rectangular and symmetrical scales. This is a good and expensive cut of the beast. Gloss finish, you can see that we got a monotone stitch. It's been shear cut with lacquer in the profile for refinement. It is a JLC factory strap, calfskin on the bottom, brand new, no crimping, no gouging. Now this is why I think we might be looking at one of the last of these to actually ship from the factory, because this is JLC's second generation deployant clasp, and you can see that it has this recess with media blast on the inside. So I strongly suspect that this was probably shipped sometime in the early 2000s. The original JLC folding clasp was a flat stamping. This one has a little bit more structural integrity because of essentially the two planes of it, and then it has the media blast internally. In 2006, they switched over to their double deployant clasp, so this probably was shipped sometime between around 2000 and 2005. Now the case is a lovely thing, and as you can see, it's got sheer case band, but it is a relatively thin watch overall, with the case back stepped inward, so when it's actually on the wrist, it looks even thinner than it is. You also have a very, very, very soft bevel on the flank of this lug, and you can sort of see it expanding as it moves away from the case towards the end of the lug profile. You can really see that soft bevel there. Conical bezel, you can see it's fairly flat. We have pusher adjusters for the calendars, and you can see this is a modular complication. JLC calls this movement the 891/2/448. So we have the calendar module on top of the base. So you can see the center line of the stem is below the center lines of the pushers. That's how you know it's a module. On the dial side, a lovely black dial with half-frosted Dauphine hands. You can see the half frosting to make them more visible against the black base. We'll do a loom shot. There is some loom on the hands as well as at the quarters of the dial. The dial is a lovely gloss black, and you can see it features applique faceted and polished dart-style hour indices, as well as tri-Arabic numerals 9, 12, and 3. There is a silver-frosted and slightly raised lunette date indicator that's designed to rise over and clear the indices. We have this lovely first half 20th century red on white printing for the day and the month discs, and then we have coaxially moon phase and the running seconds. The watch does feature hacking seconds. If you look super close, you can actually see that the little luminescent dots are surrounded by a very thin border of red lacquer. Detail is excellent. And you can see that, let me show you this a little bit more carefully because I want to be clear about what is and what isn't original factory fabric. Now you can see that the luminescent hands are modern Luminova replacements, and that at the quarters we have original factory tritium. So while this might have been one of the last examples shipped, it was probably manufactured in the late 1990s due to the presence of tritium on the dial, as that changed around the year 2000 at Jaeger-LeCoultre. So the presence of the later clasp and the earlier dial is a little bit curious. It's even possible that this was added as an option sometime sometime later down the line. But the presence of the tritium dial and the later clasp makes this watch a curiosity, but also offers a lot of compelling value. Taking a quick look at the case back, you can see that we have that 8912448, and it is based on the 889 architecture. Here you can see it's a bidirectional automatic winder. There is the jeweled reversing rocker that's long time been a signature of these 889 base movements. And it's a 4 Hz beat rated as hacking seconds. It's adjusted in 6 positions, a superlative standard JLC no longer uses, unfortunately. The 36 jewel movement also features a 22 karat gold mass on the rotor. Later on, it would become 21, and then you'd see a lot of rose-colored rotors, some of which are just plated. We have genuine fire-blued screws here. We have circular Côte de Genève on the rotor as well as the bridges. We have rounded but machine-finished bevels that are handsome and worthwhile. You can see there's some engine turning on the base plate. We also have satination on the wheels where they're visible, but the ones that are associated with the winding system have been polished, which is a nice touch. It is a gorgeous movement that has been through the Master 1,000 hours control, originally introduced in 1992 and slowly expanded across the whole line. It is a 1,000 hour, that is 41.6-day test of the fully assembled watch in 6 positions, not a bare movement in 5 positions over 2 weeks as with the COSC. So the Master Control is fully cased up, 6-position test, chronometry, winding efficiency, power reserve, water resistance, and durability. It's one of the first in-house standards that was more stringent than the COSC. You can also see 50 meters water resistance, so while a dress watch is generally just 20 or 30, this is 50. Still don't take it swimming, but it's nice to have the margin for error. And in stainless steel, this is an everyday viable timepiece. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.